Welcome to Rachel Uncensored, one of the few places on the internet that you can find an uncensored version of me. Hello, I'm Rachel Ballinger, and welcome to another solo episode. How's everybody doing today? I have a joke to start us off. Are you ready? I don't know why I repeat myself a lot. I notice this because I edit. I've said this before and I'll say it 1,002 times again because I repeat myself a lot. There are two reasons. Actually, no, there's a reason I noticed, and then there's a reason I repeat myself on the internet a lot. Okay, let me categorize this in my brain. Don't worry, I have still been taking my creatine. What was I gonna say? Right. I notice because I edit myself, and I've said this 1,002 times. If you want to know your flaws, your quirks, your personality traits, your tics, how your mannerisms are, how you talk, film and edit yourself all the time. Not just to do a little dance move, but just film yourself doing a podcast, film yourself doing anything, and you will notice everything about yourself that you didn't want to know. It is so hard to change those little quirks you have. Right now, I'm on an active train of getting rid of my old man noises when I move around the house. Abby she doesn't poke fun at me. She mentions them every once in a while. They don't bug her. She finds them endearing. But every time I get up or start a new project or shift my focus to something, yeah, okay, all right, okay. Whew, here we go. All right. I do that all the time. Throughout the entire house, throughout the entire day, no matter what. If I'm alone, if I'm with someone, if I'm filming myself, if I'm not, I always make those noises. And she giggles at me because now when I'm trying to stop making those noises, because I don't need to constantly be making noise like an old man, I start humming. I go, It's my way of retraining my brain. And another thing that I can't seem to stop is my jaw wants to do its own thing. My mouth mimics the shape. Okay, how do I put this? When I'm cutting something with scissors and it goes whoosh, 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 my mouth while I'm cutting will make that motion, but not the noise. So I know if you're just listening to this, I can't explain it without just doing it. So if something's cutting, my mouth is going hop, hop, hop. It's like I'm chewing the noise with it. I mouth what the other person's saying as they're saying it, but no noise is coming out. I have so many weird quirks, but one of them is I'm constantly just repeating my words. And I think it's filler. I think it's another version of saying or like. I just keep repeating and then repeating and then repeating until I figure out my next sentence. I heard someone say the reason women have filler words such as like and so and okay and so anyway and then is because if we leave a pause in our sentence, typically if you're with a group of men, they will take that pause as an invitation for them to insert themselves in the conversation. I didn't realize this was a thing, but it seems to be, people have studied it and have said it's women do it because they can't put a pause in their words or in their sentence because men will then talk over them. Even if they're not done with their sentence, they could be in the middle of a sentence and people will talk over them. So we've learned to keep our conversation flowing by using filler words while we think of our next thought or think of our next word, which is totally understandable. Also, when I'm filming, number one thing is you don't want dead air. My mom picked that up on that immediately when we used to do all things internet. You don't want dead air. You always want someone talking. And I'm really good at that. But sometimes it requires me to repeat myself, even though I can edit. But I don't want to edit the podcast a lot. It's supposed to be a free flowing, here we go kind of thing. So I do just make a lot of noises and I repeat myself. It's not a flaw. I've just noticed it. And I edit out a lot of it because I feel as though someone else would find it annoying once they noticed it. And I do it a lot with the dogs. You're not supposed to repeat yourself. I don't when I give them a command. You're not supposed to say, sit, 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 sit. You're supposed to say it once, give the dog time to think, and you can go, if they don't do it. And then if they really still don't do it, then you can say it again. But you're supposed to wait a beat. But I just keep repeating the same thing to them. I go, are you happy? Are you happy? You a happy dog? Look at Blaze is behind me. He's like, what? Are you talking to me? I don't know why, but I repeat all of my sentences to them. I think I'm just waiting for them to respond. Maybe my brain thinks, oh, if I keep repeating this, one day they'll speak to me. That's my hope in the back of my brain, I guess. Anyway, I just went on a tangent that I was not expecting. I have a joke of the day. Are y'all ready? I saw this one on the Instagram. Here we go. Elephants are born weighing 250 pounds. That makes them the biggest babies on Earth, except for transphobes. Got it. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed that joke. If it offended you, go fuck yourself. All right, next, what I've learned this week. Guys, I already mentioned this on my vlog. We have to save the bees. We already knew this. We already knew we had to save the bees. The bees are a big deal. The bees make the world go round and everyone's scared of them. And their only way to protect themselves kills themselves. Guys, what are you doing, little bees? Why are you so dumb? Why were you built like that? That's not a good mechanism. You'd think by the evolution, survival of the fittest, they wouldn't kill themselves protecting themselves, but it is what it is. Anyway, Australia released a study that bee venom concentrated and put directly into a certain thing, lots of scientific terms, can 100% kill 2 different types of breast cancer cells within 60 minutes. We have to save the bees. The bee venom and bee pollen does wonders. And I decided to look it up. If you needed a little incentive, I know, guys, we have so many things to save and focus on. The political climate, the environment, and within those 2 things, and our health and just society. And in those, that's just umbrella terms for all the other things: women's rights, gays' rights, trans rights, men's mental health, domestic violence, terrible cops, all the things happening all over the world, all the wars, our current sitting president, our health care, there's so much. There's the bad things that we're allowed to eat, the things, just drug addictions, homelessness, there's so many things that we could. What makes me the most mad, I will get back to the bees in a second. The thing that makes me most mad is 80% of those could be fixed instantly if we just got rid of all the shitheads ruling all the worlds, all of the countries, of all of the top shitheads everywhere. They just stopped it. 80% of this shit. I forgot I put mascara on and I just rubbed my eye. Dang it. I'm just so distraught. 80% of this shit. This isn't a scientific number. This is a number I've made up. But I'm going to stand firm in it. Could just poof, go away if everyone just stopped being a dick. Oh my God. Imagine we cause all the problems. Anyway, now I know there's a million things to stress about. And I forgot, it was a show on HBO that was so good. I don't remember the name of the show and I don't remember the name of the host, but they did say something that you can't be a social justice warrior or a environmental warrior. You can't just be a warrior for every single thing out there. You have to choose your lane. And people on the internet get very mad when you don't talk about every single thing that's happening. But human beings don't have the emotional capacity and the mental capacity for every single thing. Let's take Joy as an example. She's an advocate for dogs. She has taken the dog lane. She's going. My girlfriend is political, women's, gays' rights on that train, all right? And sometimes we'll sprinkle in a fuck ice. You know, she does the Gaza. She'll bring in other random things. But her main thing, well, that also goes with political justice. But she's hardcore about how the government, the U.S. government, is not treating their people correctly. Women's rights, gay rights, okay? So that's hers. And for me right now, I dabble in it all. I try and learn it all because I'm on the internet. So I kind of have to, know slightly what's going on everywhere. But right now I'm just, for some reason, this month, it's the bees. I care about the bees. They're dying. The bees are dying, guys, and they help our environment so much. So anyway, I just want to give you a list of the things that bee venom can help with. Now, I'm not saying go get stung by a bee, but I'm saying if there are a plethora of bees, then we'll be able to actually study them more and figure out how to obtain their venom and use it for the benefit of the world. But we can only do that correctly and if the bees aren't dying, right? So bees have been known, their venom can treat inflammation, pain, certain cancers, and various other conditions through their anti-inflammatory, antimicrobial, and immunomodulatory effects. Now, you can't use this if you're allergic to bees, but I actually had a doctor that did my prolotherapy in my knees. He also did bee treatments for people. But because it has a huge pain relief stuff, it has huge anti-inflammatory things. It heals wounds. It helps the central nervous system. It has all of these things. But bee honey, the pollen of bees, can help you with your seasonal allergies. There's just so many things about the bees. They're the ones that pollinate all the things. They're the ones that pollinate almond trees. So if you consume almond products, guess what? You need the bees. The bees are the bee's knees. I saw another joke that said, imagine being a bee and your knees are so amazing that is the standard for how great things are. The bee's knees. That's how good their things are. Anyway, if you don't care about the bees, if you don't have the emotional capacity to deal with the bees, I completely understand. We can only do so much. We can only focus on so many things that we are up in arms about. And the bees are kind of the last thing on people's minds right now, but I think it was the least depressing, and I needed to step away from all the things that were happening, and I needed to focus on something else that I could do something about. Now, I cannot save all the bees, but I did go out. I Googled immediately when I saw the Australia's research, and I saw that we need to help the bees because they can do all these amazing things in the environment, the world, and us. I Googled, how can I help the bees? They said plant native plants that they like. So in Southern California, what plants naturally would grow here without human interaction, without us, tending to them and overwatering them or whatever. And then set out bee baths. So not bird baths. You can do bird baths, but you have to get in attachments because the bees can't just get into the water. They need something to stand on to get to the water. So they sell these little tiny metal flowers that you put marbles in, and you fill it halfway with water, and the bees sit on the marbles and drink the water. Because there have been a lot of bees that I've seen half dying, and Joy said they're thirsty. You have to get them to a place where they can drink water. So I got bee baths, and also a plus side, butterflies like them. So I have bee and butterfly baths in my yard, and Abby also wants to get a bird bath because we both love birds. So we're also getting a bird bath. I'm focusing on wildlife this month, apparently. That's what I'm going to focus on. And next month, it'll be something else. But the more you know. All right, before we move on to our next thing, let's check to see if we have a sponsor for today. Sponsor! Home Chef. Home Chef is our sponsor for today. These days, it feels like there's no price difference in eating out versus staying in. And to make matters worse, there are so many unhealthy options out there to sift through. Home Chef can help you save money and eat healthier with their fresh, delicious meal kits delivered straight to your door. Users of leading meal kits have rated Home Chef #1 in quality, convenience, value, taste, and recipe ease. I've done it before. They are easy and delicious. Whether you prefer classic meal kits with pre-portioned ingredients, quick 30-minute recipes, oven-ready options, microwaved meals, or a dedicated family menu, Home Chef has everything you and your entire family needs for hassle-free, delicious dinners. For a limited time, Home Chef is offering my listeners 50% off and free shipping for your first box plus free desserts for life. Go to homechef.com/Rachel. That's homechef.com/Rachel for 50% off your first box and free desserts for life. That's homechef.com/Rachel, and you must be an active subscriber to receive your free dessert. Don't worry, guys. I have my dandelion tea again. All right, I got 2 things that pissed me off this week. 1, not saving the bees. Rude. And if you have a bee allergy, I'm sorry. And if you're in the States, I'm sorry that your EpiPen costs so much money. I'm also fighting for better health insurance. But I can only do so much. This week, I could save some bees. I could save maybe 10 bees, okay, with my water dishes. I needed to do something. I'm a physically do something person. I got to do it with my hands. I cannot get you better health insurance with my hands. But I could put a water dish out for some bees. I digress. The other thing that's pissing me off this week. Now, I'm filming this, I think a week before this goes up. I just went on a hike on the 4th. On the 4th happened Independence Day, 4th of July here in the States, okay? Usually it's you wear red, white, and blue, you barbecue, you watch fireworks, you get drunk. That's what we do here in the States on the 4th of July, the average human here. None of us in our friend group in my life wanted to do that. We were all disgusted with the state of our country at the moment. So we thought, what could we do? We thought about doing a No Kings protest, but it didn't seem as though there was one fully being planned around us. We thought about having an anti-4th party, but still that is celebrating the 4th still and just in a different manner. So we decided instead, we're just going to go on a hike, connect back with nature, do something healthy for our bodies, fresh air, appreciate the land around us. I'm telling you, I'm focusing on nature. So anyway, the thing that's pissing me off, you'll catch me red-faced about this. If you watch my vlogs, it's not the people that blast music on hikes. No. It's the people that leave trash in nature. Go fuck yourself, bro. What the hell are you doing? This was one of the reviews on this hike that we did. All of the avid hikers complained that there's just trash all along the trail. And then at the top, you get to this waterfall and there's just trash everywhere. What are you guys doing? It's so gross. And I get every once in a while, oh, this fell out of a bag or the wind blew it away. But there were people literally purposely placing beer cans and bushes and soda cans places. It irks me so much. The disrespect. Dear God, what's wrong with you? To litter like that? I remember being a teenager and not understanding because, again, I was a teenager in the early 2000s when I was still being told that climate change was kind of a hoax. This is how I grew up. Then becoming an adult, I realized that was the biggest bold-faced lie I've ever heard in my life. Climate change is very real. It's very detrimental, and we need to actively fight against it. So I remember being a teenager in the early years when people weren't quite sure what the fuck was going on. Not proud of it. I had littered every once in a while. I didn't understand the big deal, whatever, blah, blah, blah. It'll get cleaned up. That was my thought process. Now as a full functioning adult, and I know it's full functioning adults on these hikes that are doing this, and we are living in a time when everyone knows climate change is real, and we live in a time where, okay, also that is another thing. I never left trash on a nature hike. What is people's thought process there? When I did stuff as a teenager, I try and give myself a little grace because my brain wasn't fully developed. I wasn't taught the right things by the society around me. My parents didn't tell me littering was okay. They just, my mom would have yelled at me if she saw me litter, but it wasn't like an open discussion about how we need to treat the world better and blah, blah, blah. It wasn't drilled in my brain that we had to respect the environment and leaving our trash out affects it or whatever. So I give myself a grace of that. But as an adult, and I know other adults are doing this crap now, that's teenage crap. That's what you do when your brain isn't fully developed. When you're dumb, you're just dumb. You're an adult now. There's no excuse. And adults are leaving trash out purposefully? What the? You're disgusting. You disgust me. I want to throw things at your head. Abby and I talked about bringing a trash bag next time we go on that hike and just picking up. And we were with a friend and we were talking about it's so annoying that we have to reap the repercussions of these other people's actions. We have to go out with a trash bag and pick up other people's trash so they just keep getting away with it. But yeah, there's no alternative. You either are the bad person, stand by and do absolutely nothing, or be a good person and do what you can. And yeah, it sucks having to go out and pick up other people's trash so that you can enjoy nature and so that your grandchildren have an environment to live in, but that's just the reality of it. Anyway, that's what I'm pissed about this week, if you didn't know. Trash in nature, leaving trash on a hike. God, go get a paper cut and eat some salty French fries afterwards. Like, I hope you trip a little bit in front of a large group of people that you are trying to impress, and it humbles you. All right? I hope you go to a party and a dog and a cat is really friendly to everyone else but wants nothing to do with you. That's what I hope. I hope you develop an allergy to your favorite food, but not a deathly allergy. You just get really itchy. This is what I hope for people like that. Again, I always give grace to kids and teenagers. Your brains aren't fully developed. But adults doing shit, when you know better now, I know you know better. I know you know better and you just don't care. And that is gross. There's a quote I've been seeing. What was it? It's something along the line of, don't worry about this because it might happen to you. Worry about this because it's currently happening to someone else. Worry about the environment now before it affects you in the future, because it is affecting you now. You just don't realize it. It's affecting other people in other parts of the world now. You just don't realize it. Anyway, I could go on. I need to get off my soapbox. I don't need to die on this hill. I'll kill on this hill, but I don't need to die on it. All right, let's move on to the woman I want to uncensor this week. You know I can't pronounce the name. Ada. A-D-A. Ada Lovelace. She is known as the first computer programmer, ladies and gentlemen. What? Yeah, that's right. Now, she lived in 1815 to 1852. So this was before the computers as we know were created, but I had it put out in layman's terms here as to how she is known as the first computer programmer, okay? She was a brilliant English mathematician who is considered one of the first computer programmers. She lived in the 1800s, long before modern electronic computers existed. Here's what she did in simple terms. She worked with Charles Babbage. You know I'm not pronouncing that name, B-A-B-B-A-G-E. So Babbage was developing a mathematical machine called the analytic engine, which was basically a very early kind of computer designed to do complex calculations. One giant calculator that now is looked at as like the first computer, but nothing like we do now, okay? But Lovelace saw the bigger picture. Most people, including Babbage, only saw the analytical engine as a powerful calculator. Ada, with her insightful understanding of mathematics, because girl was smart, realized it could do much more. She recognized that if you could represent things other than numbers, like musical notes or even letters, using symbols, the machine could manipulate those symbols based on rules. She wrote a set of instructions, an algorithm, and wrote a detailed description of how analytical engine could be programmed to perform a series of steps to calculate Bernoulli numbers. This is widely considered the first published computer program. She envisioned the future of computing, and her ideas went beyond just calculations. She imagined computers being used to create music and other creative works, predicting capabilities that wouldn't be realized until about a century later. She was a visionary who understood the potential of machines to do more than just calculate numbers. She helped establish the concept of computer programming as it is known today. Ladies and gentlemen, a corner of the world that is dominated mainly by men, computer programming, the first person to ever think of it and realize it could possibly exist was a woman! Ada Lovelace. Ladies and gentlemen. Also, she was Augusta Ada King, Countess of Lovelace. I don't know what that means, but I'm pretty sure it's important. Augustus Ada King, Countess of Lovelace. I don't know what that means. Sure. Yeah. But yeah, also a woman in the 1800s knowing mathematics that amazingly, praise be unto her. And she died at the age of 36 from cervical cancer, which contemporary accounts called uterine cancer, since a distinction between the two was not made at the time. Yeah. So, I mean, sucks she died, obviously, only at 36 from cancer. Oh, bees, dandelion, tea. And my girlfriend apparently told me that cherries help fight cancer. Obviously, these would have not helped her in this scenario, but we're just trying the best we can, guys. Our health, the environment, social justice, political justice. I'm drained. Anyway. Also, Charles Babbage they were close knit. All right. So that's why she was able to know so much about his machine and all that stuff. So round of applause for Ada Lovelace. See, that my issue with knowing names, I think I've stated this before, is people can take a normal name and spell it completely different, or take a normal name, it's written Bob, and they're like, it's actually pronounced boob. What the? So it's really hard for me to know how to pronounce people's names because everyone has a different way of writing them, a different way of saying them. Just take my girlfriend. Her name is Abigail, but she goes by Abby. And there were 3 Abbies in her friend group growing up, and they all spelled their name different. A-B-B-Y, A-B-B-E-Y, A-B-B-I-E. They all spell Abby. I'm just trying to defend myself on my stupidity, on why I don't know how to pronounce names. So I'm done projecting my insecurities onto you guys. Again, if there is ever any person you want me to deep dive into, let me know, and I will. We've done a few now, and I enjoy doing this. I like knowing what women have accomplished and done. Also, it's just a little bit of learning history. First computer programmer, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Lovelace, the Countess of Lovelace. What does that mean? The Right Honorable Countess of Lovelace. What does that mean? Can someone tell me? I know someone's yelling at me right now. What does it mean when someone's a countess? Actually, I'll just Google it. A countess is a woman who either holds the title of count or earl in her own right, or is the wife or widow of a man holding that title. What the hell is a count or earl? When I watch... Oh, someone says it. A count is a historical title of nobility in certain European countries, varying in relative status, generally of middling rank in the hierarchy of nobility. All of this is absolute gibberish to me. I know people in other countries who have kings and queens. We're apparently trying to have one here, but you guys know all these things? Oh, there's a royal hierarchy. Okay. Oh, it goes kings and queens. Under that is prince and princesses. Then under that is a duke and a duchess. I have no idea what those are. I've heard them when I watch shows set back in those times. Then we have a marquess and a marquise. Marquise. What the hell? And then it goes earl, countess, then viscount, viscountess, and then a baron or a baroness. What are these people doing? What's the point of them? What makes someone a countess? Countess is either inherited the title when they were born. What is a count? What is a count in royalty? Guys, this is too much information, I know, but I just need to know. It's a nobility ranking. I know that. What does it mean? I don't understand. What does a count do in royalty? It's just saying, hey, hold rank. For whom? For what reason? I'm a count now. I hold rank. This is about to piss me off. I'll tell you that much. I need to stop. If you know about it and understand it, good for you. My brain can't. Okay, guys, I'm going to go now. I love you all so much. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Comment stuff below. Follow, subscribe, like, and I will see you all next week with another episode. You're wonderful, beautiful people. Bye. Thank you for listening to this episode of Rachel Uncensored, the only place on the internet where you can find the uncensored version of me, Rachel Ballinger. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please like, subscribe, or follow, or do whatever this platform tells you to do so that you can get notified every time I post a new episode. Love ya!